Hi, I'm Liselle, and I'm here today with Anton Fargau Petrini. Is it pronounced right?
Yeah, almost.
Almost.
It's a hard name. So.
Yeah. So welcome to my channel.
Thank you so much.
Can you please introduce yourself and tell us what your role is in the team of Jon Henrik Fjällgren, Art North, and Adam Woods in the participation of Melo?
Yes, sure. So I am the owner of the music label. So we released the song. And then we also are in charge for the budget of the song. Yeah. And also everything around the coordination between the stylist, how the scenery should be. So almost like a producer on the label side, I would say. Mm-hmm. And then SVT, the main channel, also has a producer. So it's like collaboration between the label and SVT. Mm-hmm. And also, of course, the manager and the artist as well. Yeah.
You have a big role in the thing then.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's nice having you here to get a new perspective of things. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask you what is your musical background?
So I grew up with a lot of Beatles from my father, and then I went into metal, so I listened a lot to hardcore stuff. And then I started producing when I was 15, I think. And then I graduated on SAE, which is a musical school in music production in 2013. And then I worked with music since then almost. And I compose a lot of stuff myself, more ambient, classical, orchestral stuff. And then when I joined Loudkult, the label, I was heavily invested in the EDM genre as well. So it's a mixture of everything. But I've been working in the music industry for what is it, 10 years.
So you're not a newbie, you have been in it
yes.
a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw you compose you're composing your own music that you're releasing as an artist. Mm-hmm. What is your creating process when creating your instrumental music?
Good question. I think it's the short answer would be life.
Yeah.
Because I find it very intriguing when the music almost writes itself, if you know what I mean. So basically how my writing process is, I usually sit down by the piano and then I starting with some sort of melody and it's just building on its own. And often I go in with an intention and I want to paint some sort of vivid picture of what I'm feeling inside. Often that translates into the melody. And then I just build from that basically. So it's it's like in life, it's ups and downs, and that is how I try to translate that into music as well.
Yeah. So how is it to release music? Because you need to kind of also promote it, but it's it's so much different from other kinds of genres.
It is. And I find that it's so strange because I'm not heavily invested into the social media thing. I know it's super great, but I'm just so happy that people can find it. We at Loudkult have a big network of playlists, so we promote our music and artists through playlists basically, and throughout the playlist, the music can get heard by so many people. And that is almost the best exposure and best marketing, because we don't really need to push it in that way. People listen to the music, and if they like it, they can just add it to their own playlist, and it lives forever. And that is something I really I'm super happy about, because then I don't have to promote super much from the social media part. Because it's a really weird thing to do, because it's so personal. So I just if you like my music, I'm super happy, but I don't really push it to your face. Come and find me. Yeah. Something like that.
But it's a balance to do it, because somehow you still need to promote yourself, even if it's not the music stuff.
Yeah,
people want to know more about you, because it's this thing when me interviewing you, it's fun to see more people, because it's not usually it's just pop artists people talk to, but it's fun to get another side of it.
Yeah.
Because that's there's so much more art than just what you are usually seeing mainstream.
I agree. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I saw that you have a song calling "Catching the Tide."
Yes.
Yes. And can you share what inspired you to create that one?
That was really special. Some songs takes forever to write. I think I wrote the main melody in 10 minutes. It was crazy. It just appeared. I don't remember how I used to create it, but the melodies came to me, and I thought it was so beautiful in a way. So I knew that I wanted to do something special with the song, and therefore I had this idea of like the melody almost sounds like water in some sense, like it's some sort of watery texture. And then I thought, okay, I need to do some sort of video to this as well. Maybe you come to the whole thing. Yeah. So yeah, that was the thought process behind it. I loved the melody and it sounded like water. And it sounded like I tend to know when I write a song and I feel like it's not my song. It feels like it's been there forever. Then I know it's something I really like as well.
I saw the music video. It was like so surprising because I wasn't expecting it, but it was like so fun seeing that.
Oh, nice.
In the video, you're just playing on a piano.
Yes.
And what inspired you to do that? And who came up with the concept? Putting in the water.
I have some like crazy ideas time to time, but it's not very often that I actually go through with the idea. But this idea was so crazy that I needed to do it, because like I thought let's just find this great like river or some sort of watery place and just place a piano in the water, and I also saw like a vision of me playing and like the tide coming in, some sort of, and like the water coming through the piano. I really saw that vision and I went for it.
Yeah, well, it looks really good.
Thank you.
It's
Appreciate
so much
it.
fun, like, because how did you even like get the piano in the middle of it? It's like it's heavy.
Yeah, it's such a crazy idea and amazing story, because like I asked my friend, my good friend Oliver, and he's like my main guy when I had this crazy idea. Like I call him up, and he usually like the crazier the idea is, the more happy he is. So he was super happy. Okay, this is a crazy idea. And I just asked him to go with me, and we bought the piano, which is like this super old piano from I think the last century. Like it was super old. And then we just had two other people who came up with the location, and it was in Gävle in Sweden. And we went up there. We have no idea how it looked. Not even like I had some idea how we should like actually lift the piano, because we used some sort of small wheel thingy that we can like push the piano on. But it was so heavy when it got into the water, because the water filled up the piano, and I didn't realize, because it gets heavier. I thought it would be easier, but no, you need to sing the whole thing to get So it took maybe 2 hours for us to just get it down, and it was impossible to get it up. So we need to like cut it completely, and just, it was a wreck, but it went out with a bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Was it cold to like sitting there? Because how long did you record for?
I was in the river for like 4 hours, but actually it was a good time, because we recorded in August, I think. So the water was actually fine. It was a bit cold like at the end, but it went well.
Yeah, it looks awesome, because it was that one thing that I was doing the research that impacted. It was like, I want to talk to him, because it's like he has ideas to like bring if he actually like gets to it. So it's like that's nice saying.
Thank you.
What inspired you to start your publishing company?
I would say like me and Lucas, we talked a lot about. Lucas is the co-owner and co-founder of Loudkult, and I joined Loudkult 3 years ago, and the whole like record label side of things went really well for us. And then when we moved to new offices in Stockholm, we instantly knew that we wanted to do like a studio thing where we can bring people and just create this culture. Because I think we're missing that in Stockholm and Sweden, because like we've always been like a metropole of like music export in some sense. But we're missing that hub where we can meet and just connect and create. So I knew that we wanted to start something like that in Stockholm, and then we find this perfect location for it, and it has gone really well. I'm so happy for it, because like we are really working hard to this building this sort of base for people who are creative to thrive, and hopefully we can make some stars and some good songs and hits.
Yeah, it's nice seeing like a new name like in the industry in the Mello.
Yeah.
It's like you get something new.
Yeah.
So it's like fun seeing that because
Yeah.
we need that more.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also nice to be like fully independent as well. Like it's trying to match the big majors. And I think it's finally to be here on France in this big stage and just proving ourselves basically and our brand and what the independent labels can do as well.
Yeah. Exactly. Because what would you say is like the big difference, like being independent label and to the bigger ones? Like, what is the biggest difference in?
I would say like as an indie label, you don't need to answer to anybody. If that makes sense. Like the majors are amazing at what they do. They have been here for so long time. They have big contacts. Like the networks are insane. They have big budgets, but I would say like right now is in this time of age, the difference between indie and majors are not huge, because you can like be some sort of indie label, indie major, so to speak, and that is something that we try to do here and try to prove to artists and the industry that you don't need to go with a major. They're doing a great job, but we can do it ourselves as well with our context and with on our way. So I find it really inspiring as well to do that.
Yeah. And the motto that you were talking in Gothenburg when we talked, you said something about artist by artist. Can you explain what that does mean?
Yeah, I was saying this in the beginning. We really want to emphasize our background because everyone that works both at Loudkult and MomentOne has their own musical project in some sense. So I would say it's more like we try to build a transparency with the artists, because a lot of people that we work with have not like signed a record deal before. So we need to be very careful and try to explain why we do stuff, why stuff are in the contract, and try to be artist friendly basically. And hopefully we can share some sort of information with them, because we have done a similar path as they are doing it, so they can connect with us in a different way. We are not this like corporate style, just do this or do that. We try to have a great dialogue and see what they actually want to do with their artistry, and after that we can try to help them in the way we can. Yeah.
So from a publishing company perspective, what is it makes Melodifestivalen as appealing for you?
It's the biggest stage in Sweden, and I would say like we're pretty big when it comes to branding in the US and in Germany when it comes to our playlisting especially. But we never pushed a song this hard in Sweden. So I would say building our studios in Stockholm and creating this hub that I talked about earlier, this is the next step to just proving ourselves that this is something that we do and we can do well. So I would say it's a lot of fun to doing this whole journey, creating this and it's super creative and work with this amazing team as well. It's amazing. And for a publishing and a record label perspective, it's more like building the brand and showing up what we can do for other artists and also the industry. So it's a mixture of both.
Yeah, and how is it like different in like promoting music in Germany in terms of Sweden?
I would say like every country has their own set of rules how you should promote music. So I would say this type of song that we like fully push right now in Sweden is mostly like trying to get so many eyes on the track as possible, and because Melfest is such a big event in Sweden, we have a lot of help from Melfest as well, because like we don't really need to select a certain like age group or whatever. Like it's so broad, the whole thing. So this is much more easier, but it's hard to get in. That's the thing. Yeah. But now we can like do what we have learned from the other country and push it into to Sweden as well. So it's a really inspiring journey to be on and seeing what works and what doesn't really.
And what do you hope to achieve with your label in the future?
We have set on some really un-Swedish like goals. Like Swedes used to be quite like we are humble people, but we're aiming for to be like the #1 EDM genre-based label in Europe and also in the future of the world. So if you are an EDM artist, for us it's super important to be the home of the EDM genre. So creating this hub is a big part, and also being in this this brand of EDM music in the world, I would say is our next step and goal.
Big goals, but that we like it because then you push through and like do more things.
Yes, and and it's super, like the whole team that we are working with are so devoted and dedicated to it, and we have achieved so much in just 4 years. So I'm super happy, and I think next year will be even better, hopefully. Yeah.
So lastly, I want to ask you: are there any like upcoming projects that we should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, for sure. We will have several tracks with both Jon Henrik and Arc North coming. Adam Woods will also have his own project that I'm super excited about. And I will do some songs with Jon Henrik as well. So we'll do some ambient joik. So you should look out for that, for sure.
Yeah, looks awesome.
Yeah.
I will look out for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that was all my questions. For this
awesome.
time. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was so much fun talking to you.
Yeah, thank you.